The Ryco X101R engine protection kit for the Ford Ranger PX 2.2 and 3.2 litre engine and Everest UA 2.2 and 3.2 litre engine comes complete with the Ryco Z980K series fuel water separator and RCC 351 series catch can, as well as specifically moulded hoses, brackets, fuel lines and hose clamps, all engineered for a neat install that looks like it could have come this way from the factory. As always, we recommend that the kit is installed by a qualified mechanic with the procedures shown in this instructional video. First off, we'll be fitting the metal bracket used to mount the fuel water separator and catch can. Begin by removing this factory M6 from the fuse box. Next, locate the stud on the TX valve and position the bracket in the engine bay like so, placing this point of the bracket at the TX valve stud and this point at the fuse box stud. Now, loosely refit the factory M6 nut onto the fuse box stud and the supplied M8 nut onto the TX valve stud. Be sure not to remove the factory nut holding the TX valve. From the front left wheelhouse of the vehicle, install the supplied M6 bolt with washer upwards through the hole and secure the bracket with the supplied M6 nylon lock nut along with another M6 washer. Be sure to install the bolt in the right direction so that it doesn't protrude into the wheelhouse. From there, simply tighten all three fasteners. Next, we can get to work installing the Ryco fuel water separator. From the kit, select the supplied quick connectors that fit the Ryco fuel water separator head. Locate the supplied blanking plugs and install the Ryco fuel water separator head with metal quick connectors, blanking plugs and rubber bonded washers like so. Next, install all 4 supplied elbow connectors onto both supplied fuel hoses with the supplied fuel hose clamps. Don't tighten the fuel hose clamps just yet. Locate the factory fuel supply line by starting at the factory fuel filter. Locate the larger lower red elbow connector shown here and squeeze the coloured tabs to remove. Have a rag ready to capture any diesel that may spill out of the fuel line and the fuel filter. Trace the other end of the fuel supply line to the second factory quick connect fitting and remove it from the factory fuel supply pipe. Remove the factory fuel supply line from the vehicle and store it for safekeeping. Now we can mount up the Ryco fuel water separator onto the metal bracket using the 2 black M10 bolts supplied with the fuel water separator kit. Connect one of the supplied fuel hoses to the factory fuel supply pipe by pushing the elbow connector onto the fuel pipe until you hear a click. Route the hose like so, connecting to the inlet port of the fuel water separator. Connect the second hose to the outlet port of the fuel water separator by again pushing the elbow connector onto the metal quick connector until you hear a click. Route the other end up through the factory fuel filter bracket. Don't connect it to the factory fuel filter just yet. Tighten all hose clamps, then find an assistant to help prime the fuel system. First, place a container under the unconnected elbow connector. Then, prime the fuel system by turning the ignition key to on/run position without starting the engine until fuel comes out of the elbow connector. Once fuel has come out, turn off the ignition and connect the elbow connector to the factory fuel filter. Then, it's a matter of starting the engine and checking for any leaks from the fuel lines and connectors. Next up, we can install the Ryco catch can. If there's an engine cover in the way, remove it. Then mount the catch can onto the bracket by sliding the nylon bracket on the catch can onto its mounting position. Rotate it so it's facing directly towards the engine and tighten the plastic bracket retaining screw. Next, locate the PCV valve on the driver's side of the engine. Disconnect the quick connector on the factory PCV ventilation hose to the engine PCV valve by squeezing the outer ring. Remove the PCV quick connector from the factory hose and connect it to the smaller end of a Ryco moulded hose using one of the smaller PCV hose clamps. Feed the hose behind the engine under the other engine pipes and AC pipes and connect the larger end to the lower port of the catch can with one of the large PCV hose clamps. With the second Ryco moulded hose, connect a straight hose joiner to the smaller end and secure it with a small PCV hose clamp. Feed it along the top of the first hose, ensuring it also runs under the factory pipes, including the AC pipe. Now, connect the larger end to the upper port of the catch can and secure it with a large PCV hose clamp. Connect the factory PCV hose to the straight hose joiner at the small end and secure it with a small PCV hose clamp. Check that both PCV hoses aren't jammed or kinked by the surrounding engine parts, and that's the catch can install sorted. To install the drain hose, remove the drain plug from the bottom of the catch can, take out the rubber seal from the plug, and refit. Insert the drain hose and secure it with the supplied spring clamp. Insert the hose drain tap to the other end and use the zip ties to secure the hose. To drain, use a drain pan or bottle and pull back the red section until all oil has drained out.